Okay, I'm out here on La Brea Avenue here in Los Angeles at the Kayne Griffin Corcoran Art Gallery. You're probably wondering, well, Mike, you do a lot of car videos. Why are you at an art gallery? Well, I'm going to tell you, there's something in there you just got to check out. And if you saw the thumbnail and the title of the video, you already know what it is. So why the hell am I doing this? I have no idea. But it's definitely in the spirit of like Carhenge or the Cadillac Ranch, but it really goes back to something from my childhood and probably your childhood as well, if you're give or take 10 years as old as I am. And so we're going to go in there and we're going to check it out right now. So coming in the gate, the first thing we see is the 1969 Dodge Charger, the iconic General Lee from the television program, The Dukes of Hazzard. And this is actually an art piece. This piece is actually called A Suspension of Hostilities, and it's by a noticed artist, Hank Willis Thomas, who was having an exhibition here at the gallery. And this exhibition actually goes until March 7th, 2020. So after that, I don't know what's going to happen with this piece, if it's going to move on somewhere else, if it's going to be on public display or anything like that. So I definitely wanted to come down there and check it out. And actually, I was tipped off by a friend of mine, James Worley, so I'm going to have to give him a shout out, who tipped me off that this was here. And he's actually a massive Dukes of Hazzard fan. So, and unfortunately, he lives on the East Coast, so he wanted me to come down and get some good footage of this art piece and also the other things in the gallery that you'll be seeing. And it's really neat to see them using, an iconic Mopar in an art piece. And part of the reason why he wanted me to come down, he wanted me to really inspect it, see if it was actually an original 1969 Dodge Charger, or maybe even if it was one of the original cars that was used on the television series or in the movie that was made much later on. And we're actually going to get into that, because actually the VIN is visible on this car, and we were able to figure out exactly what it was and basically how they put this together. But looking at the car, they actually got a lot of the details. They even got the CB antenna up there on the trunk. And so a lot of the details there, of course, the 01 on the doors, the flag on the roof of the car, including the General Lee graphics. But coming in close, you can see in fact, I've got some closer shots of the engine and transmission, which are basically dummied up, since obviously they'd be very heavy, especially for transporting and for mounting this, since it's mounted obviously completely vertically, and they want to make this piece as safe as possible, so it doesn't come over on somebody, which would be very, very tragic. Looking inside the wheel well, if you zoom in, you can kind of see some of the bracing and how they mounted this into the dirt there, so it was safe, and so it would stay in its position. And looking on the interior, you can see some of the bracing there as well. So it's pretty well welded up, so nothing can move. And it does have the back of the front seat, but not the seat bottom. The VIN was visible, and of course the dashboard and a steering wheel. But it looks like mostly like it was kind of mocked up, and you can see sort of like the floorboards there. But obviously it needed extra bracing. And then zooming in where the engine transmission would be, you can see they basically made it so that at a distance, it still looks like there's an engine and transmission there, but there is not. I'm assuming for weight savings, and obviously, to get rid of some of the chemicals and the oils and things like that. Of course, all the floorboards look like they're from an old car, like what you would expect on a 50-plus-year-old car. The U-joint looks a little sketchy there, like it was sort of just welded in place to the drive shaft. And this whole thing is actually part of this exhibition by Hank Willis Thomas. So we actually came in the gallery to show you kind of his room, if you will. And one of the other interesting pieces that would be of interest to like a car person or a motorcycle person is this piece. It's called Not So Easy. And it's obviously a representation of the Captain America bike from the 1969 movie Easy Rider, which is definitely an iconic movie of that era. And it's essentially the Captain America chopper, but broken up into all sorts of different pieces, as if it maybe had gotten in an accident and sort of got obliterated. And even has the Captain America American flag helmet, and of course the iconic gas tank. This looks to be made from more new pieces than if they took like an old bike and took it apart. But it's still kind of interesting to see something that's so embedded in motorcycle culture made into an art piece that's being displayed prominently here at an art gallery in Los Angeles. So really interesting. I mean, it has the sissy bar there. Yeah, and it's all the pieces to the bike are there and just kind of spread out, and that's the piece. So we did find the 1969 Dodge Coronet 440. We actually Googled the VIN number, found the car. They must have bought this Coronet and then got a bunch of the pieces from to make it into a 1969 Dodge Charger. So while they did have to take a car to make this car, at least they didn't take an original 69 Charger, which is a very expensive car. So if you like what you see, be sure to like, subscribe, give me some of your favorite memories of the Dukes of Hazzard TV show in the comments. And until next time, I'll be seeing you around.